of Worship, your source for commentary and discussion on worship, theology, and culture. I'm your host, Dr. Jonathan Michael Jones. Well, hello and welcome to the Active Worship Podcast. This is Dr. Jonathan Michael Jones. Thank you for joining me today as we are going speedily through this Psalm project. Well, speedily for me, it seems. I'm trying to do 2 Psalms a week. I've tried to do that from the beginning, and besides a few weeks here and there that were missed for various reasons, I've stayed true to that goal. And so here we are in Psalm 121, and as I mentioned in the last episode, we have begun the Songs of Ascent, 15 of them, Psalm 120 through Psalm 134. These are the Songs of Ascent. And so we are in Psalm 121 today, Psalm 121, and as I've previously mentioned, these psalms are rather short, and so the settings will be often short, and the commentary will be short as well. Psalm 121, and in this psalm, the very first verse suggests why this psalm was included among the Songs of Ascent. And the psalmist says, "I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come?" So the psalmist's vision is set firmly on the final goal, that is Jerusalem and Zion, the hill of God. The pronoun shift in the psalm from I to you could represent an internal dialogue similar to some other psalms we've seen in the past, or more likely, the words of the pilgrim who begins the psalm, followed by the assurance spoken by a priest or some other person like that. So let me read for you these brief 8 verses in Psalm 121. "I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore." So he first mentions lifting his eyes to the hills. And Jerusalem, as I've mentioned before, was on a hill. It was in the hill country, and the temple was also built on a hill. And then in verse 3, he says, "He will not let your foot be moved." This is a particularly apt image of God's careful protection. Israel is notorious for its rocky and slippery terrain. And so the people of Israel certainly would have understood this sort of image. In verse 4, "He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep." God never sleeps, and there is no danger that the psalmist will be forgotten. So Elijah ridiculed the prophets of Baal by sarcastically suggesting that their God was asleep when they needed him in 1 Kings 18. And if you remember that story, in fact, he asked that, maybe they are relieving themselves. If you can imagine a God sleeping or relieving himself, that's so he was mocking the prophets of Baal. And but we serve a God that does not sleep, that doesn't need to take breaks. He will not forget about his people. Verse 5, "The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand." As a person's shadow is always with him, God is with his people, and even closer than that. And so the metaphor comes from ancient treaty language, and it has covenantal overtones here. So this is a setting that turned out to be quite a gorgeous, slow, meditative setting. It is a song of ascent, And really the purpose of the psalm, the theme is lifting your eyes to the hills, looking to He who gives you help. That is God Himself. And so there are 3 stanzas. It's a rather short setting, but a gorgeous and soft flowing setting of Psalm 121. So here is the musical setting of Psalm 121. Thank you for listening today to the Active Worship Podcast. This is Dr. Jonathan Michael Jones. Unto the hills I lift my longing eyes, whence comes my aid. The Lord's my help, the heavens and the earth by Him were made. Your foot from stumbling He will always keep. The one who guards your life will never sleep. He who keeps Israel slumbers not, nor sleeps by night or day. The Lord keeps you, a shade on your right hand. The Lord will stay. Throughout the day the sun will never smite, nor will the moon afflict you in the night. You will be safe, protected by the Lord, by His control. From every evil that may come your way, He'll keep your soul. While you go daily out and in your door,